Food safety is very much prior, as we all know, that is one of the major public health problems. Every individual has to be aware, every industry has to be very cautious, every government has to think to bring any products into the market to twice how it can be helpful, making healthy, not should be unhealthy. And bringing all these contaminants, adulterants, there should be very strong, that the message has to be conveyed to the industry as well as to individuals that we need to avoid. Then we can sort out these problems. The major challenges what we face from farm to fork. Now, what I mean is that at the farm level, we have been contaminating with the production sites, including fertilizer, pesticides, insecticides, all sort of these are coming there. A lot of, if we talk in the livestock systems, we have been using huge amount of hormones, which is steroids. We are using a lot of antibiotics, different type of, which is actually more than exaggerated amount of things have been used, which is at the farm level. And when we come to the industry level, then further contaminations are added there, whether as an additive becomes adulterants or contamination is coming as a residues like antibiotics, like hormones, like pesticides, insecticides, everything is coming there which is added up. And even we know that during the process, these further contaminations arise as a toxicants.
Food safety in Thailand have a lot of contamination, especially in fishery product. For example, fish to export to another country have more contamination, more than the standard guideline.
Then we come to the retailers level. If retailers follow the guidelines given by the industries, what is given there, that can easily sort out the retailers, like suppose storing as a 4 degrees centigrade or in the room temperature, or the packaging, how it can be done there, how you put in the warehouse. So that can solve the problems. They will be reduce lower contamination. If industry is control what is exactly given by the codex or the FDA, the regulation or standardization, the process is saying, if they follow everything, for me, every even SSMEs or the small enterprise also must follow at least HACCP conditions, or they should follow the minimum what is requirement that can get the production process of the safe, and that should be following the regulations. If they follow, it will be, we can solve a lot of problems as well. I have been always discussing with my students in the class, talking that one of the emerging like acrylamide.
Acrylamide is a carcinogenic compound that forms during food processing. Many ingredients start on the farm and make their way to the industry, but at the retail and packaging stages, plastic become a major concern. Ready-to-eat foods is often packaged in plastic, which is frequently used when heating. Unfortunately, this can introduce micro and nanoplastics as well as chemical residues into our food. These physical hazards are now becoming a part of traditional practices.
So this is the major contaminations coming from the food, from the farm up to the fork level. So the food can be like contaminated with a different type of microorganisms, whether it is bacteria, virus, fungus, or different type of parasites, as well as the various chemicals. And those chemicals are coming from the different type of toxicants, whether it is as a contamination, whether adulterants, whether it is forming during the process of that we know. And that can cause starting from the infectious disease up to the cancer as well.
เคยเป็นมะเร็งเมื่อปี 57 อะค่ะแล้วตอนนั้นน้ำหนักเหลือ 34 กิโลแล้วก็คิดว่าแบบคงตายแล้วแหละคงไม่รอดก็สืบเนื่องมาจากที่ตัวเองเป็นมะเร็งแล้วก็รอดมาได้นะแล้วก็ตอนที่ทำรีสอร์ทเพื่อสุขภาพอะพี่ก็พยายามที่จะทำเมนูเพื่อสุขภาพเหมือนกับว่าใช้อาหารเป็นยาอย่างเงี้ยค่ะถ้าเรากินอาหารที่มันดีมีประโยชน์แล้วไม่มีสารเคมีที่ตกค้างในพืชผักหรืออาหารที่เราเข้าไปเนี่ยความปลอดภัยในชีวิตมันก็ดีขึ้นเพราะว่าตัวเองนี่ไม่เคยไปรักษา
So overall, if you see that this is affecting this foodborne illness, is causing the major socio-economic problems. The young scientists, young researchers who are in our program, they have been learning how to mitigate, means how to find out the causes first, where the food safety issues are coming. So finding the issues, challenges, and to mitigate it, we also try to make in the class interactive class discussions at the class or in the workshops. So we do finding the diagnostic tools, which we do in our lab or through the research, that what are the systems can be developed. You can easily identify the hazards and you can control the hazards as well.
I am focusing on research related to the food innovations using green technology, which includes moderate electric field and engines. We enhance the functionality of the starch without causing any environmental effect.
We are also using different type of non-thermal processing, various activities which can help to produce the food systems, which can reduce a lot of toxic chemicals to be produced during that.
Now, it's so important that we currently have a lot of traceability systems established. So at any point, if there is any sort of contamination, the food can be recalled at any processing level.
Water is one of the major sources for food, and we are currently testing some of the water dispensers around the city using sensors. We're using advanced sensors that are linked to our phones, providing real-time data. If any issues comes up, whether it's a change in pH, microbial contamination, or the presence of harmful chemicals, we can immediately inspect and address the problem on the spot.
In the kitchen, in the individual level also, there are the effects that the people have been using a lot of chemicals, right, which is making the food as a cooking time contamination as well.
Various types of microorganisms or parasites are generated through water and soil. For example, certain parts of the ocean are full of plastic waste. And when people use sea salt, scientists have found that microplastics are present in the salt. This is one of the causes of cancer.
Also, WHO recently recommended that the antimicrobial resistance may cause another pandemic very soon, and AMR has been one of the major coming from the food cycles. The simple example, as an individual consumer, if we go to buy any product, if we look the labeling of the food products, we are aware that what is in the food, this product contain, what you need, when is the expiry date, when it is manufactured, which is very important to understand, as well as how it is going to be stored, even that. So that is important as a consumer. If we talk about in the kitchen, we also need that we buy a lot of foods, we make there are a lot of possible contamination, can be cross contaminations there when we are cooking, as well as various plant-based materials that can be included as a preservatives or as a during the packaging systems, or we are also working on the edible packaging systems in our lab as well.
Modern food packaging systems offer convenience, longer shelf life, and protection from contamination. But they also come with certain risks that can affect human health and the environment, such as bisphenol A. Other found in plastic containers and the lining of the cans, phthalates, which is used in plastic packaging. Phthalates can also leach into fatty foods and beverages. PFAS, which are used in grease-resistant packaging, such as fast food wrappers.
Quality of life. Functional foods which go beyond the basic nutrition, offering additional health benefits such as boosting immunity, improving our gut, reducing the risk of chronic disease, and also managing weight.
People also need to learn about and pay attention to newly innovative healthy products that come from the research and development efforts of food scientists and nutritionists.
As consumers become more conscious on the health, safety, diversity, sustainability, and nutritious values of foods, consumer purchases shifts, creating into new food trends. Our laboratory is committed in the development of value-added new food products. It is important to transfer these processes and knowledge to our partner companies and potential technology adapters so that these new value-added food products will be commercially available in the market.
At the AIT, in our program, Food Engineering and Bioprocess Technology and Food Innovation and Nutrition and Health Academic Program, we have been quite emphasizing on the food safety related issues, challenges, as well as how to mitigate those challenges. We are also trying to work to using the nature-based solutions, like using a lot of chemicals, which is biological materials, not the chemicals, and those biological materials like the probiotic, paraprobiotics or postbiotics.
We are doing multiple researches on our labs on probiotics and probiotic-induced foods through fermentation, encapsulation, and etc. Probiotics has the ability to produce antimicrobial compounds like bacteriocins, lactic acid that competes with the pathogens and helps to prevent gastrointestinal infections.
At the same time, our students are conducting some research and thesis on the policy level as well, because there are still the food system, safety systems need to be very much recognized, and some policy has to be, especially when you talk in the developing and least developed countries.
Like my country, India, because India has a very large population and also a growing population that has increasing needs for food. And me as a food scientist, I want to work at the policy level so that I can have an impact, positive impact on every citizen of my country.
So I hope our small efforts can help these food safety challenges to overcome in coming years. Even there are a lot of big challenges, but at least some percentage we can solve, and slowly it can be overcome by that from the various mitigation strategies.
We're working closely with farmers in organic system and also in smart farming for the future. So we work with many farmers in Thailand to bring their own supplies, organic produce to the consumer from farm to fork, and also we support many aspects with them like technology, knowledge and standard to improve them to be more efficiency and more capability in terms of organic produce.
So when we announce some kind of GAP or standardized, it's more easy for people to understand. Nowadays it's not so much difficult. This regulation easier when compared to the past.
Also the climate change is impacting, and those impacts also causing various emerging diseases.
These emerging diseases are affecting all types of farming systems, including crop production, fisheries, livestock, and poultry.
I thus request every individuals to be aware, to think about food safety as a major concern, so that any global health or any sort of pandemics can be avoided.